Alrighty, guys, welcome back. We are back. It's Magic Round. And I'll tell you one thing, it's deep into the footy season when the hoodies start coming out. There's that chill in the weather. And I tell you what, Magic Round, I'm pretty keen going to the Sunday, luckily. So be good for that. Wish I was going to Saturday. That's going to be a classic we'll talk about. But basically tonight we'll just talk about all the games, see where our tips are going, and really just look into the Magic Round and get pumped for it. But kick us off. Dane's had a talking point, guys, that he's wanted to talk about for a while. So I'll let him off the leash. I'll let him go while he's steaming from the ears. So Dane, off you go.
Yeah, look, it's the bunker. I just think they're getting too involved. They're they award a try and then they're setting up for the kick, and then we've got an obstruction, or someone's been taken out, or he's run on the outside shoulder, inside shoulder of somebody else, and then the try gets taken away. Now, I don't think they stop and think, and I've mentioned this before, about all the punters that have got multis on. It's doing my head in, and it's losing me a lot of money. Cut it out. Bunker, I'm off you.
It's not on.
Yeah, look, us sports.
It is pretty annoying, though.
These $5 multis we've got aren't going to get us lunches for the week with these calls. So on a serious note there, Sid, though, I know a lot of people have been talking about the bunker lately, and where are you at with it? We're going into a Magic Round now where it's probably supposed to be a showpiece for the game, but I'll tell you what, there's been some absolute clingers the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, look, I just think they've got to tweak it a little bit and do the soccer thing with the clear and obvious errors. If they lost the ball over the line and it's lightning speed and the ref missed it, okay, fair enough. But these obstruction ones, I think, are the most common ones that really frustrate people, when it's 3 and 4 defenders in, and it's sort of the guy that got the ball is sort of outside shoulder, or there's the slightest nick and the defender falls over, and where he's nowhere near the place, not going to stop the try. Everyone knows it, and then they still call it. I think 2 things: clear and obvious errors should be the only thing they chime in on, and also the common sense thing. If he's not going to get there, it's not an obstruction as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I like the way you mentioned the soccer. I like the way they do it, where they wait for the ball to go out of play, then they'll check everything and look at if they need to. We'll use the kick out one, for example, on the weekend when they versed the Eagles, and that was a clear knock on, and it led to a try in that set. So for mine, I thought the bunker should then be able to make a call on that play, even if the try's been scored. So we've got to go back there to the scrum because it's a clear and obvious knock on. Jace, where are you at with the bunker and those sorts of decisions? Would you like the soccer mentality?
Yeah, I'd like the soccer mentality, but it's the same thing happened to the Dogs against the Roosters. They nearly cost them.
You won that game, didn't you?
Yeah, but it nearly cost us the game when Crichton knocked it on and play the ball, and then they literally scored off that play the ball as well. And it was lucky that Burton took Suwali over the touchline, but otherwise it would have been a clanger as well, completely missed by the on-field referees. But for me, I think my biggest issue with the bunker is the fact that they can't rule on forward passes. I think that's my biggest issue. If they can rule that a player is offside from a kick, who's clearly in front of the person with the ball, then they should be able to rule on a forward pass as well. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I think there's some very clear forward passes we can see even watching it on TV where surely a bunker can make a call on that one. We're going to go straight into and talking about the Dogs. They're the first game here, but just quickly on video officially, anything to say to Dane after the other week when the Dogs beat the Roosters? We haven't been on air since.
No, mate. I highly respect Dane. I think he's a top bloke, and he's a Bulldogs is his second. I respect him for that. But all you Para and St. George Dragons fans can all go shove it up your asses.
Don't be jealous. It's getting cold up here, so you might be up here one day. The Dogs and Knights. Dogs and Knights kick off Magic Round, and I'll tell you what, one thing about Magic Round this week, there's a lot of close matchups, which is pretty exciting. There's going to be some close games this weekend, which will be good to watch. So this will be one of them. This will start it off. Pretty wet up here, to be honest, guys. It's going to be pretty wet and miserable weekend. So it's going to probably affect the footy, some low-scoring games. And to be fair, both these teams have been probably pretty poor in attack, it's fair to say. So you might be looking at a scoreline of 6-4 or something. Who knows? With these two teams, but yeah. Well, where are we going with this one? I know, Jace. We'll go to him last because he's the dog supporter. Dane, what are you making of these two teams early on, and who's your tip?
Yeah, look, I think I'm not going to tell you who I tip because I'm trying to run you down in the footy tipping. But look, I think the Dogs are going to come out and shine. I reckon. Again, I do think it will be a low-scoring game. So gamble responsibly and just keep it to a three-leg multi, same game multi instead of 4 or 5. Don't get too greedy because it probably won't happen in the wet weather. But yeah, we've got some really good games coming up, and I think starting it off with these two teams, even though they're sort of down the bottom, I think they've got a lot of room for improvement, and it'd be good to see the Knights sort of show up, but I just don't think that they will. I think Dogs will be too strong.
Well, to be honest, it is last versus second last, so we'll see what sort of contest they can have. It's an unders betting week all weekend. You just go the unders line. So, Sid, where are you at with these two teams, the Dogs and the Knights? We've just said it might be a miserable game, but who are you tipping and why?
Oh, look, it's going to be an old school Dogs of War forward battle. I think the Dogs forwards are going a little bit better. They've lost Brazil as well, the Knights. They lost Gagai, which I think he's been the one shining light. He looks like he's had a good preseason. Got a spring in his step. He's got a point to prove. A lot of people suggested that he just went back to Newcastle for the big money and to retire. But yeah, and he just always looks like he's going to break tackle, a bit like Valentine Holmes. So he looks fit and well, and it's a big loss for the Knights. But yeah, I think it'll be a tight, close one, and the dogs will do them.
Jace, you confident?
It's a debate for victory over there, isn't it, Jace?
Yeah, mate. Am I confident? Not at all. Am I hopeful? Yes. But who knows, mate? The Dogs come out, beat the Roosters, and then they get touched up by Canberra the next week.
You want to mention the Dogs beating the Roosters again, or
No, mate. I'm just saying. No, I'm saying they beat a high quality team like the Roosters, and then they lose to someone like Canberra. I've got to whisper
They
that
beat the
because
Roosters.
this is the next room, so I don't want. Sorry, darling, I didn't mean that. But mate, like I said, I'm hopeful. I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be one of those old school, like Sid said, old school games. It's going to be a grind. I think it'll be low scoring, and hopefully the Dogs come out on top.
Sounds like everyone's going the Dogs here. I'm actually going to go opposite. I'm going the Knights. I just think the Knights have to start showing something, and it's going to have to be this weekend. Like, the Dogs haven't been great either, and if there's a team that they're going to beat, it's going to be the Dogs. They've just got to kickstart something. They haven't got that roster there to be last. They've got a half decent roster, so it just has to start clicking. And
it shows.
Yeah, well, if it's not this week, I just think put them for a lock for the wooden spoon. But the other game Friday night, Manly Broncos, another classic, 7th versus 8th, so top 8 clash. Both teams got a bit of form at the moment, and Turbo is just coming back to full fitness after his run last week. Dane, are you going to tell us who you tip this one, or can you just talk about both the teams if you're going to be secretive?
Don't tell me,
this is a tough one. I'm still torn. I haven't decided on this one. Like, it's the Broncos versus the Trebojeviches because they basically are the Manly team.
They've got half a team.
I reckon it's going to be a cracker. I reckon it's going to be a really good game. I think Broncos are in form. I think Manly a bit sort of up and down, but I think they're playing with a lot of confidence. Want to play well, given that he's moving on to the Titans. I think it's going to be a cracker. I'd probably pick the Broncos. At home.
Yeah. One thing we will say about the Broncos at the moment, I tell you what, Adam Reynolds is the buy of the year, hands down for mine. Just what he's done with that team at the moment, it's just been pretty phenomenal to watch how they're just slowly built into this season so far, I think, and then time it seems pretty well, and he just steers the ship around. And I actually think he's playing better this year than he did last year for South. So a few more good signings for the Broncos, and there could be a very good top 4 chance for years to come. Jace, who you got for this one?
Man, I tipped the Broncos because I think it's going to be a close game, but I think Broncos just have a better forward pack, and getting Haas back as well. That's going to give them an even bigger boost of confidence as well. So I think they'll win it through the middle there.
Yeah, wow. Sid, who you got?
Oh, look, I'm actually going to go Manly. I think they're travelling a little bit better. The edges are really good. They've got a range of players that confuse the edge defence. They've got the beast Ola Kawatu. He's doing what David Fafita did last year. He's powerhouse from minute 1 to minute 80, and he seems to be crashing over late because he's just he's in a good physical state, let's say. And obviously Turbo having that run, and with the Broncos, they're going good. Reynolds is improving them slowly. They still look a bit disjointed. They haven't been able to use Farnworth and Katoni's tags that well. They just have a bit of a disconnect with the halves and the outside backs. But it should be a good game, and DCE does play well at Suncorp.
Yeah, I'm liking Manly at the moment. I think they'll win this. I think Turbo might put on a bit of an early Magic Round show. I think it's going to be a bit of a finish. What?
Yeah, good. Tip them, then you flog up.
Yeah,
peg one back on you.
We're going different already, opposite.
Yeah,
the next game, a bit of it's a close one. Warriors versus South, 10th versus 9th at the moment, but after the Warriors' performance last week, that was one of the worst performances I've ever watched. A team that had, at one point, the Sharks had 11 players in the field, and Warriors couldn't even register a line break. It was one of the worst performances I've ever seen. So they're lucky they've got some early wins, because for mine, they'd be very worried about being the Wooden Spooners this year after that. So we'll see what happens there. But I've got to go South just off the back of Warriors' performance. I think Walker might be in for. He's been really quiet this year. This might be the game that kickstarts him a bit and gets him going. Finds a little bit of form. Dane, what do you got here? Warriors or South?
Yeah, South's probably too strong. Warriors they probably played the worst out of any team last week, and probably over the last couple of weeks, to be honest. Had a couple of hidings. So, yeah, I just think Rabbitohs will be too strong, and Cody Walker, he'll have a bit of a field day, I reckon.
Yeah. Jace, I know you're a current footy player with the Coomera Koalas. Realistically, if you got smashed the week before by like the Bush Rats or something, do you reckon you could come back and win a game like this? Is it realistic to think the Warriors could do it?
So I honestly don't know. Like you said, I'm not sure how they could not register a single point while it's called the other team had 11 on the field. Like that blows my mind. But I just don't think they have it in them. Honestly, I think I see Warriors sliding down unless they can get back home to play on home turf anytime soon. I don't see them going higher on the ladder, so I'm going Souths on this one.
Yeah. Sid, are you going to make it a full house here?
Yeah, definitely. Warriors in a free fall. They're a mess. Even the Warriors, biggest worry is with the Warriors, even when they're playing bad, their forwards, they run so hard and they hit hard. They're just not running hard. I think Matt Lodge is probably the only one that I'm seeing that's actually running hard with intent, and he genuinely wants to break the guys in front of him, break the defense. It's a big worry, Warriors. If I'm Nathan Brown, I'll be setting the resume up.
Yeah, well, they do get their forward leader back this week in Tohu Harris from his ACL. He's finally back, but an ACL, we've all seen it with the players. It takes them a while to fully get back to their normal self. So, but you know what? It'd be so Warriors to come out and win this by 30 or something. It'd be such a Warriors thing to do. Get pumped the week before and come out and win this. So don't be surprised if they come out and do something.
They've got the talent. They've got the players. There's something going on there.
Yeah, you don't know because you'd think being in that camp environment all the time, they'd get to be close together, they'd build that camaraderie and stuff. You'd think it'd probably be helping them, but it seems to be doing the opposite. Titans v Dragons, the next one. So Sid, we'll leave you to last. We already obviously know who you're going to tip, but we need to know why, and you can try and convince us. Jace, who you got for this one? It's 14th versus 11th. I mean, Dragons had a bit of form, got brought back to earth last week against a Storm side that's been incredible lately. And then the Titans have just are all over the shop. They look lost at the moment. They just look like they don't even know each other, and they've just started playing together. So who you got?
Look, mate, like if it was another team that had just gotten flogged by the Storm, I'd say, that they would bounce back. But I think Storm have broken St. George for the year.
Wow.
And I got Titans this one.
So what? Broken is in there.
Unless the coaching staff can pull their heads out of their asses and give these young kids a crack instead of sticking with the same team every week, that does absolutely nothing. I don't see the Dragons going anywhere quick.
Yeah, look, you do make a bit of a good point there. We try not to dig too deep into that one at the moment, but I'm just gobsmacked, and I tagged Sid in something, I think it was yesterday or today, but how Sloane still isn't back in the team yet, I don't know, because for mine, even when they were winning, Mumbai wasn't doing anything. He wasn't really offering much at all for mine anyway. And Sloane, he may let in a try here and there, but I'll tell you what, he's going to get you 2 or 3 in that game or set up something. So I'd be more worried if I was in opposition facing Sloane than I am Moses Mbai. So, Dane, who you got for this one?
Yeah, I got the Titans. Obviously playing in Queensland, they've got Jaden Campbell back as well. I think he's a little bit of an excitement machine. He's like a little fresh Pappenhausen. He's very tiny. You can throw him around like a rag doll, but yeah, you blink for a second and he's through a hole or he's gone, and he creates things that just shouldn't be created. And I don't know. I've got a feeling that Osaka is going to step up and potentially have a good game. I could eat my own words, but I don't know. I just got a feeling the Titans will get over the Dragons in a close one.
Yeah, look, I'll match you with this one as well. I've actually gone the Titans. I just think same thing here. The Titans, as I said with the Knights, I just think they've just got to find some form, and it's about to get too late for them. They've really got to start getting a couple of wins strung together. And after a pretty hard draw to start with, they finally get a team where they'll probably look at it and go, we should be able to beat this team at the moment. But the Dragons have been playing pretty well apart from that game last weekend. So it's going to be a close one again. It's going to be very, very tight. I'll go Titans just. Sid, tell us why and come back to us why the Dragons will win this.
Look, it's a tough one. I try not to look at it in a biased opinion. Historically, the good news is that they're always close and high-scoring games because both teams don't know how to defend. The worry is what you alluded to earlier. I was 100% right. Out of the 8 tries we conceded last week, did you know 4 of them were line breaks in which Mbai did not lay a hand on anyone, whether it was the guy supporting or the guy with the ball? 4 tries. I mean, 4 tries, they went straight through, and he was just like, well, they're gone. And it's not good enough in first grade, We can all agree he's a 14 at best. I will add that Dane's theory about Isako, it'd be interesting which way he goes, because last year when we played the Broncos, he had an absolute shocker, a howler, one of which was replayed several times, where he was shepherding a ball over the dead ball line just before half time, and the Hooters were already gone, and then the ball just sat up, and then Jack Bird grounded it around him, and he literally 3 errors was 3 tries, and we beat him. But then we found out the poor guy, his dad passed away during the week, so we're looking for a big to make up for that. That was a real shocker.
I reckon the weather may help you guys out. You just said that both teams can't defend, but you can't really do much attacking in this either. So
heavy on the
yeah, it's going to be hard to score some points this weekend. Boys, the next one is a clash I think every rugby league fan is waiting to watch. Storm versus Penrith. They're top of the table. They're miles ahead according to most experts, even though both teams can't beat the Eels this year. But hey, we'll go back to that one. Don't need to gloat about that.
Eels got up by the Cowboys.
Yeah, no, that's the Cowboys are a top 14, buddy. We'll talk about this game first. Thank you. I'm the leader here. You sit back and just make me meters.
Just mute him. Just mute him.
So if you actually, Jace, you're in the mood to talk to us about this game. Unfold it for us because there's a lot to talk about in this.
Mate, I think at the moment, the way both teams are playing is ridiculously good. I think for this one, I'm tipping the Panthers mainly because after a loss last week, they're going to come out fired up, and the fact that Storm are missing Pappenhausen and Remus Smith, who actually does a lot more than people actually think out at centre. So for this one, I think I got Panthers, but in a close one, I reckon.
Yeah. Dane, once again, we all know you live in a Melbourne Storm household. This will be glaring on the TVs for sure. Who's winning this one and why?
I'll be chanting the Panthers all afternoon, all evening, all through into the night. I think the Pappenhausen thing, what Jason touched on, he's worth tries. He's always in my multis and he always comes through. So it's going to be a cracking game. I reckon the Panthers could probably get them by a couple of tries too, to be honest. I reckon they're going to, on the back of that loss last week, I can't remember if they lost to, and no one really cares, but I think it's a reality check for them. They're going to come out harder, faster, stronger. They're going to be playing at 200% intensity. They're going to play 81 minutes of footy. I thought you were wearing a Tigers training singlet. Bit orange. I reckon the Panthers just two tries.
The voice of reasoning here. You're going to go the Penny Panthers as well, or you like?
Yeah, I'll save us some minutes. Everything that Jason said, I was going to say the same thing. Coming off a loss, it's really dangerous for the Storm, if that's at all possible. And the loss of Pappenhausen is enough to get the Panthers across the line. But I'm telling you, it's going to be Origin-like. I can't wait.
Yeah, I back up.
The thing about the Pappenhausen thing as well, like Dane said, he's good for like maybe two tries or so and set up a couple, but he saves a lot of tries as well. And Nick Meaney's no Pappenhausen, so that's a big factor for me.
Yeah, no, I'm glad I threw to you first, Jace, because you've pretty much said everything that I wanted to say, and I'll back up Sid's thing there. I think this is an early Origin sort of game where it'll be that mentality, that sort of game where it's just they're at each other. It'd be similar to what it was last Friday night. That was another cracking game to watch. So I'm going to go Penny Panthers. Sunday's games. So we've got the Sharkies and the Raiders, which probably the easiest tip of the round, probably for mine. There's not many easy ones this weekend. But this one's fair to say we're all going to go the Sharkies, but I'll throw to everyone and double check this. I think the Raiders, Ricky Short should be under a lot more pressure than he's under. They only beat the Dogs last week, so that's nothing to be celebrating, even though Uncle Nick's sombrero can't do that. But anyway, Sid, Sharkies?
Yeah. I remember vividly the Sharks-Raiders game earlier in the season, and it was down in Canberra, and Sharks looked like they were going to run away with it. They had to play the balls, and they were spreading, and the Raiders were scrambling, and it didn't blow out. Yeah. But I think there's a blueprint there to blow out the game, and they did it the next week against the Dragons, and Sharks have done it a few times. They did it with a man down last week. They're gonna put the cleaners through the Raiders. Sorry, Jason.
Jace, you want to say softly who you going for?
I got to watch what I say here, but I think the Raiders can win this one. They'll be right in it from the get-go, and I think they'll put a score on them.
Yeah. Dane, do you want to back up those sentiments?
Yeah, look, I just want to say rest in peace, Jace. This is probably going to be your last show with us. But, Yeah, look, I reckon Sharks will get him. I think Sharks playing pretty good. Nico Hines, he'd have to be equal best buy of the season alongside Reynolds. Matt Moylan, don't know what he's doing. Probably should offer him another contract. So predictable. He just jumps off his right foot, runs across field towards the left, and I don't know, does something stupid. They get rid of him. I think they're a pretty complete team, but they're still playing pretty well. They'll be too strong for the Raiders.
Yeah, I know what he's doing. He's basically hiding behind Kennedy and Hines and letting them two do everything for the team. So he hasn't done a whole heap, but hey, it's working for him. And I'll back up what Dane said. Good luck, Jace. We'll see you in the afterlife. And
Hope you have a good couch.
yeah, please, everyone, watch the video version.
You're sleeping there tonight.
You'll like it just for that. The next one, we've got a League of Inches Cup. We like to celebrate these when two of our teams are up against each other, and the Chookies against the Eels. So we've got 6th versus 5th again. It's a close game. So this is, I think at the start of the year, they're both sort of top 4 candidate teams. So we'll see how this one goes. But look, we'll go to me and Dane last. We're obviously both going our teams. But Jace, who you got for this one and why?
I think I'm going to go with the Roosters on this one, mainly just because the pure fact I hate Parramatta. And secondly, the main reason I hate Parramatta, and then secondly, because I hate Parramatta.
Oh, that's why you're a
enough said.
Yeah, that's quality stuff there from you, Sid.
Thanks, bud.
You know, Jason, you remind me of Jeff Fennick's commentary last night in the Gallen fight. He's just so biased. He likes somebody, pumps them up. He doesn't like them. Doesn't matter what they do. They're just terrible.
Hey, at least I'm honest with my calls. Okay, I don't try and hide it.
Some call it honest. Some call it unprofessional.
Or more.
And you know what? That's why you'll never win a tipping comp, because you're tipping with your heart too much.
I don't care. I have my principles.
All right.
Sid, put us back on task. Who are you tipping?
No, look, it's going to be a good game because Roosters finally remembered how to play from 2 years ago. And they did really well. Especially, it was a Teddy show last week. He got me 123 or something on Supercoach. It was fun to watch him clock up those points in the middle of the week. But the Eels obviously have broken a mental block, you know, where they can go to another level and compete with anyone. And the only question is whether they gave it everything and maybe it come out a little flat. But if not, it's going to be a great game. I'll tip the Eels.
Yep. Thank you, Sid. Respect your brother. Dane, who you got? Obviously, your team, and why do you think your team's going to win?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm a bit torn, to be honest. Like, I think Eels, I just put 1,000 on them to win the premiership. I think they've already got it in the bag, and I'm pretty sure you agree. I don't know. Eels are playing really good. Definitely the better team at the moment. And the Roosters are either going to cop a walloping.
Best team in the comp.
Or I think the Roosters could win by a couple of tries and really give the Eels a bit of a reality check. And the fact that I think the Roosters are a bit of a bogey team for the Eels as well. I know you probably know that deep down too, Joel, because I remember watching a game over here and you went home with your tail between your legs and, yeah, wanted to vomit your pizza back up. And I got a feeling Suwali's he's coming into form. He's really starting to show his true colours and his potential in first grade. So I don't know. I got a sneaking suspicion he might get a double. So yeah, throw a fiver on it, guys. Gamble responsibly. Going to be a good game though.
Thanks, Junior Nick. Thanks for that. We almost fell asleep during that.
And we'll have Munster next week too, by the way.
You'll have the cheese and Munster next week, so you'll be good. All on the way to the premiership.
Found a couple of $1 million in the top drawer.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be hard to back up what we did last week. And that was a big game for us against Penrith. That's the local rivalry derby game, and you get really up for those games. It's going to be a mental test for us more than anything to make sure that we get up and beat another quality outfit, which is going to be hard to do. And as Dane's pointed out, they are a bogey team for us. I think we've only won one of the last 4 or 5 against them. So they're generally...
Just admit it.
Yeah, we don't like versing the Roosters. I'm a bit nervous going to the game, to be honest. My professional opinion, though, I'm actually tipping the Roosters because of that. I think we're going to be a little bit down, but it's a big test because Brad Arthur and the boys have talked about it all week about making sure they're up for it now every week and not having another repeat of the Cowboys episode. So hopefully that's the case, but it's a big test because, as Sid said as well, Roosters have now found some form and they're a team you don't really want to verse when they have got some form because they've got quality all around the park. The last game, Tigers Cowboys. Cowboys just keep winning. Cowboys just keep doing what they're doing best, and that's winning at the moment, defending like they're a brick wall. They're so hard to break down, it seems. I think for me, it's an easy tip. Cowboys should win this, and if it was a dry track, I would have said by about 30, but it's not, so that brings it back a little bit. But I still think they should be able to do the job pretty easily. Jace, who you got for this one?
Yeah, I got the Cowboys as well. Like their players are starting to fire. Tamalolo's finding his best form again. Drinkwater, Drinkwater's playing that well that he's left Tabuai-Fidow on the bench, and I think he'll play a big part in it. I think Drinkwater's going to set up a fair few tries.
Yeah, Dane, who you got for this one?
Yeah, I think Cowboys. I really like watching them play at the moment. Dearden Townsend combination. I think it's just going to get better as the season goes on. Holmes, he's been playing well, kicking well, and one of my new favourite players in the comp that Jason just mentioned, Drinkwater, otherwise known as Drinky. I was absolutely pissing the missus off, going, look, Drinky's in there again, Drink. And she just left, which was good because then I could just watch it by myself, which was much better. But I'm loving watching the Cowboys. Good old Drinky.
It's like
I added him on Facebook. We're mates now.
I was about to say it's like they're best mates.
Yeah, Drinky. I'll have a Drinky while Drinky's playing. Sid,
you a Drinky fan?
Yeah, he's got quite well. I love a drink, but yeah, he's a good player. I put him there with the same description of Valentine Holmes. They look like and Gagai. They look like they had a good preseason and they got a spring in their step, and they always seem to poke their nose through because they step right at the line, even though they're not trying to make a break or they're trying. They end up doing a quick play the ball, which is a great team asset and attribute. And the attitude is right across the team. Very efficient at the moment. Cowboys for mine.
Yeah. Look, that's it. Just a quick one for each. It's Magic Round. Let's do a Magic Round prediction. I know no one likes being first on these, so I'll just randomly choose one. And normally he's always good for a prediction. He's been going off tonight. He's almost man of the match once again, apart from his little jibe, so he's been put down. So, Jace, if you do need to say something quietly, we know what that means. But what's a Magic Round prediction?
Bold prediction for Magic Round. I see a hat trick on each day.
Ooh. Geez, I'll tell you what, if they can score a hat trick in this stuff, they deserve the hat trick. You should give them 6 tries because that's going to be some kind of effort.
I got one.
Here we go. Sid, off you go.
Because in the spirit of wet weather, there's a lot of crash over. I reckon there'll be 3 front rowers that will score out of the 8 games.
Yeah. So 3 front rowers in 8 games, and you reckon there'll be lots of crash overs? That's not really bold. You should be saying like 8. You should be saying like a prop each game or something. 3, in a round of footy, that happens every week.
All right. 4. Have 4.
Oh, whoa. Whoa.
4.
Hang on, guys. There's going to be 4.
If you want to add second rowers, we'll go to 10. If you want to add each second rowers, we'll go to 10.
Typical Bankstown negotiator.
I'll pay you next week.
Dave,
I promise.
Have you got something better than that? Come on, you're good for one.
Oh, look, I do have a good one. Joel to go MIA because the Roosters win.
I won't because I've already
Sawali for a double.
I've already predicted it, so it wouldn't surprise me.
You will. You drop off the mat. You'll just disappear. We'll be feeding you. If the Roosters don't win, feel free to dish it out. I'll
be blocking you. Don't worry about that. I'll be blocking you straight away. So,
speaking of MIA, What about Josh? I think he doesn't deserve a contract extension the way he's going.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah,
Never heard of
80th man.
No,
Never
no
heard of
idea.
it.
No idea. As I said, I would have
He's-
called him a tampon, but that's giving him some credit. So I can't really
He's
do
going to
that.
be playing state league with Dave Taylor soon. Don't worry.
Yeah. My one, I'm going to say in this stuff, I reckon there's going to be 3 golden point games in all weekend. So there's going to be a lot of low scoring games, not many tries and things like that. Conversions are going to be hard. I think there's going to be up to 3 golden point games over the weekend. Boys, enjoy Magic Round. If everyone out there who's going, whatever, enjoy. It's a good weekend of footy. Stay dry, stay safe in all this crap that we seem to be going through once again. Hopefully it's not as bad as what we had a few months ago, because that was pretty shocking to watch. So enjoy, let the footy take off now. It's been a boring night with no footy. I'm a bit lost, and maybe go talk to some mates that you forgot you had, that it's just existed. So hi, Josh, shout out to you. See you later.
Go Drinky.
And cheers to Drinky.